My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a divorce valuation expert in St. Louis, Missouri. I work with business owners and entrepreneurs in every stage of the divorce process, whether in mediation or litigation. There are so many questions and myths about what happens in a divorce when you own a business. So here are some of the top valuation issues every business owner should know before you file for divorce. Sometimes a business owner will think that they really don't need a valuation because I owned this business before I got married and my name is on everything, so it's just mine, right? Well, there are many times when a business owner has owned a business several years prior to the marriage. So we talk about these issues as the difference between separate property and marital property. Separate property was owned prior to the marriage, and an expert might come in and trace the assets to determine if they are still separate or have they been commingled or turned into marital property. So why do you care? Well, separate property is not divisible in a divorce situation, meaning you don't have to split it with your spouse when you get divorced. This is for certain states that allow these rules. Community property states are different, such as California, Texas, and Arizona, and a few other states. Typically, there are nuances regarding income from a business, especially if it's separate property, that are different than the appreciation in the business. So, for example, in the state of Missouri, income on separate property is marital, but appreciation of separate property could still be separate. So what does this mean? Well, one example is that if you own a share of stock as a separate asset owned before the marriage, then the income or dividends on that stock is still considered marital income that could be divided between the couple. But if the stock price went from $2 a share at the time of marriage to $4 a share at the time of divorce, then that appreciation in the stock, because it's still one share of stock, is still a separate asset. And the value of $4 per share is still considered separate. But if there was marital income that was reinvested to buy more stock, then you could have a portion that is marital and a portion that's separate. See how it gets confusing pretty quickly? So having an expert come in and analyze the investments to understand which portion is marital and which portion is separate, they will also take that analysis and testify to the calculation process in court. So how does this translate to the business? Well, the valuation expert may have to consider what was the value of the business at the date of marriage and what is the value as of the date of divorce. Even if there's a change in value, if the change in value is due to appreciation of that business, then it could still all be separate. But then you have to consider the income from the business, and was it reinvested in the business? Was it paid out in the form of compensation to the owner or distributions of income? And then finally, the valuation expert may have to consider if that compensation or the distributions were reasonable. There could even be a layer of complexity depending upon the structure of the company. So is it a company, is it an LLC, is it a partnership, is it a corporation? Sometimes the issues regarding a business that was created prior to the marriage are not as clear-cut as it would seem. So the valuation expert could have to consider the situation from many different aspects. So now, I'm considering filing for divorce, but I want to be prepared. What should I do next? Give us a call. No, really. You should reach out to somebody who specializes in valuations for the purpose of divorce. There may be valuation companies near you, but do they understand the divorce court system in your state? That would be a good first question to ask. Then see how many times they've testified. Are they trained as a mediator? Do they understand how to negotiate these settlements with other experts? Well, if you have any additional questions or you want to talk about your specific situation, give us a call at 314-541-8163 or check out our website at valuationstlouis.com.